Throughout America, tens of thousands of small and medium-sized businesses are revolutionizing the way we live. But what if they could grow even faster? What if they could make an even bigger impact? Get ready to meet a select group of these trailblazing companies and a team of top-tier experts, led by a legendary business icon, who are stepping in to help accelerate their success. Welcome to Boom America. Today we're joined by celebrity entrepreneur Kevin Harrington, a powerhouse who's helped launch hundreds of products and businesses. Alongside his team of seasoned experts, Kevin is ready to introduce us to some truly unique companies and the inspiring stories behind them.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington, an original shark from the hit television show Shark Tank, and I'm here today with Toli Safale, the Chief Marketing Officer of American Stories. And today we're meeting with some exciting entrepreneurs, and we're going to be discussing marketing and business strategies to scale their businesses.
So the name of our company is Staycay Vacay, which is kind of short for Staycation Vacation, and we're a luxury short-term rental operator and owner. So basically what separates us and differentiates us from the rest of the market that you'd see on Airbnb and VRBO and Booking.com, sites like that, is that we actually specialize in large parties, large events. They discourage those and don't even allow those. We know that there's a market there. The fact that they disallow it means that there's a market because people are trying to do that. And that's where we have come together and saw this is a niche that, you know, we can serve, and we just got to have the right house and the right location. And then welcome, we want your next experience to be at our place.
We target properties on, 5 acres minimum. We even have a property that's over 65 acres. So we try not to be disruptive to the neighborhood, and we really just want to serve that customer so that they can have a great time, but then the neighbors aren't upset about it.
You know, our goals are, I think this year we're going to be 20 or six new homes. This year we've already we've got one under contract. I think we've got another one closed, or we're going to probably track that. But we want to have at least 20 homes in the top maybe 10 markets.
Very much on purpose, we're not going into an Orlando or Miami or Las Vegas, some areas that you might think, oh, that's obvious. Well, the problem is it's saturated. It's extremely saturated to the point where there's a lot of players in that space.
And I think the end goal too is, we want to be the platform that people think of when they think of experiential homes. We want to be thought of more almost like an event space than lodging, right? And the other platforms, the major platforms out there, they discourage and don't allow that, right? So obviously, like I said before, there's a demand there, and the fact that they have to set rules to prevent people from enjoying it in that manner means that there's a market and a need for it.
Let's start. You go ahead.
Tell us about what you guys do.
Okay. So Staycay Vacay is, that's kind of short for Staycation Vacation. We cater to the people that maybe are eliminated from Airbnb and VRBO. Too many people, too much noise, you're disturbing the neighbors. Where they stop, we begin, And most of our business so far has been family oriented. Name a family event and we've hosted it at one of our houses. Yeah. And getting back to the acquisition, one of our biggest challenges, being kind of a pioneer looking for these type of properties, is that if we go through a conventional lender that does even DSCR loans, so debt service cover ratio loans, even if they're in that market, they want to see comps of other houses doing the same thing. Well, that's counterproductive, because if we were in a market where somebody else is doing the same thing, we wouldn't want to be there. That's called competition, right? So that's been one of our biggest challenges.
Yeah, the banks just don't really understand us quite yet.
No, I got it.
Interesting.
And they are starting to understand sort of the regular vacation rental market, because they feel like that's there and they can run comps against that. But to Randy's point, there aren't comps where we are, and that's very much by design. And we think being the pioneers in that space gives us an opportunity to do this in markets like, Cincinnati and Cleveland, and areas that you might think, well, that's not a market. Nobody's necessarily going there for vacation and whatnot. But what they're failing to think about is that the market already has people there. We try to find homes that are within a 1-hour drive of 1 million or 2 million plus people.
Sure. Just want to know, is there anything that you guys are looking for, or anything that you need in your business that we could focus on at the
We've relied a lot on Airbnb and VRBO and some of those other platforms And we feel like we're too tied to those platforms, and we don't, they're always going to be probably an aspect of our business, but we'd love to transition that business onto our own website, and so that we're not dependent on a third party for the success or failure of our business.
All right.
That sounds
We have some
great.
good stuff
I mean,
here,
yeah,
right?
we have some ideas, but we'll go over it with the 18th. I love it.
Let's listen in as the A-Team gives the strategies and tactics that they recommend.
Staycay vacay. Staycay vacay. What a great concept. So you've got Airbnb, you've got, VRBO, and they're all running to the policy of no parties. Staycay vacay wants you to have parties. One of the issues they have, and it's a great concept, but is to find the inventory. We got to find all these homes. So we will start to build a web presence for them, so that people can come and they could monetize their mansion.
Love it. All right.
So there's a lot in the news these days on VRBO, Airbnb, and rules of what areas, different regulations for different areas. I think these guys can talk in the media about all of that.
It may be a good one to go on a show like Bloom also, I think, because they could show these beautiful places and generate leads. So
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I already spoke with them. They are looking to run a Reg CF campaign through us, so that'll be a good source of funding for them, and then they'll just need some support on the marketing side from some of our other team members here.
Yep.
What's a way that they have 100, 200, 300 people coming into these to these properties that they have? What's a way that they can capture that information, so now that they can build that list and let them know that, hey, this is because every single one of those has a family that's going to have a wedding or needs a business that's going to have a party, and they got these people literally coming into the doors already. What is a way that's experience what they have to offer?
So first of all, we have to show video not of the house, but of the lifestyle, of the party, of the experience, of the horseback riding on the farm, of the skeet shooting in the backyard. We've got to capture that. Laura?
Well, I think there's a few more markets for these guys too. On top of that, the mastermind market, the guys that are looking to, 15 guys in $1 million mansion, where they do their mastermind, et cetera, and so on.
we rent big mansions all year long.
Right.
And I go to events
Right.
all year long that are in big mansions because it's an experience. And people, if they're going to pay $10,000 or $20,000 to go to an event, they want to experience that $20 million mansion that they're going to get to stay at for 3 days.
Right.
All right. Totally.
Completely.
You
I
got
completely.
it.
I love the parties. We did it in Con.
You're in.
Yeah.
You're in, huh?
Parties. Yeah, parties. Yeah, probably the way to go.
Now we head just outside of Chicago to check in with Staycay Vacay.
We're in Morris, Illinois, about 60 miles southwest of the city of Chicago, right in our sweet spot, right? So it takes an hour to get here, but doesn't take 3 hours to get here. You can drive here, you can come here on a whim if you wanted to, but also feel like you're miles away from the craziness of Chicago or its suburbs. So we're sitting on about 10 acres of land right here. In a 12,000 square foot mansion.
There's lots of different uses that people can use a big, beautiful mansion like this for, and this is what we do. This is really the market that we're trying to pitch toward. This is beautiful. It's just a fun experience. This is stuff that, when I've taken my family on vacations and rented houses like this, they talk about it, my kids still talk about it years later, just how much fun we had at that house, and the pool, it was great, and it's just so many memories you can make here, which ties into our logo, Book a Memory. This logo didn't exist before we got associated with Boom America. We partnered with Laura Betterly. She's been fantastic to work with. We really didn't have anything in the way of marketing other than just putting the house on the various short-term rental platforms. That was it.
So tying in with Boom gave us sort of that pause to say, okay, let's think about marketing. Let's think about what our brand is. At the time, we didn't have a Book of Memory brand. We had the Book of Memory name, I believe, at that time, but we really didn't have a look and feel. It made us stop and think about that and how we wanted to display the brand across across the globe.
Now we have our own website. We're trying to drive much more traffic there. We've recently hired a social media manager who is driving a lot more traffic to our website, so that we're not as dependent on Airbnb and VRBO. We kind of have two areas of our company. So we acquire mansions like this, but then we also property manage houses for other people who own them. So that end of our business is called Monetize My Mansion. So we've got a website there. We've been able to acquire a few more houses through that Monetize My Mansion sort of strategy. And our concept is we want the owner to be as hands-off as they want to be, right? So turn everything over to us. We'll run the operations from A to Z. At the end of each month, we send them a check. Everybody's happy.
Book a Memory has been providing unbelievable experiences for families and events for many years. Now we'd like to share those same type of experiences with you through a series called Book a Memory Series. Book a Memory Series will highlight people from the time that they contact us to the whole planning stage, all the way to the event itself. We've been blessed to host things like weddings, wedding receptions, retirement parties. We even had someone that was getting drafted in the NFL, and we had an NFL draft party. We had someone that a family member was diagnosed with cancer, and they wanted one last family experience before the family member passed away. So these are unbelievable experiences that we've been blessed to see. Now we want to share them with you. So let's take a walk through this beautiful house. This is the foyer. As you walk in, you can see the two-sided spiral staircase. Great place for pictures of the wedding. You can have the groomsmen on one side and the bridesmaid on the other. Now we're in the two-story living room. You can see the beautiful arches, the detail of the crown molding all the way around. This is just a great gathering place for people. We're here in the primary suite. As you walk in, there's a wet bar, sitting room with a fireplace, and then this is the sleeping area, which is just beautiful. You have views of the pool, you have views of the lake. Originally, this was an office. And one of the things we do when we convert a house to a luxury short-term rental is we want to get the most bedrooms possible because more people can stay, you can charge more money, more people can enjoy this memorable experience. This is one of two kitchens, and this is the main level kitchen area. You can see it's open to this beautiful living room. All right, so we're in the game room area, and this is on the lower level. So you have the pool table here, we have ping pong table, we've got a vintage arcade, we have air hockey. So we really have everything to keep everybody engaged and exciting and make some great family memories. You've got more living space, and we have another full kitchen. So in addition to that beautiful kitchen upstairs, this is another one on the lower level. So this is one of 7 bedrooms in the house. We call this the bunk room, as you can see why. You might think, why is all these beds in one room? The kids love it here. Can you imagine the memories you're gonna make when you're up talking until 2 o'clock in the morning with your cousins? You're gonna be talking about that for the rest of your life. This is the luxury theater room. This is absolutely the best place to watch your private movie. And you've got all the seating for you and your friends. So the movie's about to start. So hopefully you enjoyed the tour. This is a beautiful place. You have to come and see us sometime. Go to bookamemory.com, see what we have, see a house like this. It's a memory you all deserve to have.
You can't really put a specific dollar amount on the experience that you have at a house like this.
We're looking in other markets. We want to expand to almost every major city. There's a need for this in every major city in the U.S.
Well, folks, that wraps up our business adventure with the entrepreneurs of 4 remarkable companies. Tune in to explore a fresh lineup of ventures that make up the heart of America. Only on Boom America.